Well, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. I'm Audrey Wiggins, and welcome to another webisode of Make Something Happen. I'm sitting here today with my friend Gwen Riase, and she is a personal finance educator. She's the executive director of the U.S. Wealth School, and she's going to tell us more about that. Gwen, let's give us a quick introduction, and then we'll go to our first break.
Well, hello everybody. I started the U.S. Wealth School because I had my own financial problems and I needed to figure out how to dig out of that debt.
Okay.
It happened kind of early in college. Everyone's getting credit cards, so I got one too, and kind of blew over my balance. And it wasn't that I did things like buying the whole dorm pizza or anything, but it just kind of happened over time. And in getting out, I realized other people need to know that too. When people would ask me how I did it, and I'd share that. So it's just kind of turned into a business.
Okay, that's awesome. Well, we'll be right back on the other side of this message.
Welcome to My Video Broadcaster. This is our webinar system, and it's unlike any webinar system currently on the market. But what makes this product so powerful is that your presenter is streaming live in high-definition TV quality video. With this powerful product, you can share PowerPoint presentations, share videos, share JPEGs, chat, file share, and even use the whiteboard with participant drawing for collaboration. And it's simple to customize with predefined and fully customized layouts. And you can change layouts in real time. Add your banner, logo, and change the color to your brand's look and feel. Hyperlink the banner and logo to a website of your choice, and upload most major video formats with our Flash encoder. You can also invite guest speakers via video and audio, share your desktop, conduct surveys, and more, with no software to download and install, and only the host needs to have the service. Educators, motivators, or anybody doing any type of online presentations are going to love the features of this phenomenal.
Well, we're back, and I'm here with Gwen Riase. And she is the U.S. Wealth Coach, Executive Director. That's her company, and we're going to learn some more about that. And Gwen, tell us more about the school, but also give us a little bit more about your background. Looking at your bio here, there's a lot of exciting information here, and I can't wait to share you with our folks.
My consumer interest in helping other people learn how to save money kind of started from I used to be a television producer,
okay,
and at an ABC affiliate in Cleveland, and that is very glamorous, but it's not especially profitable. It's not. I wasn't rich. I wasn't Donald Trump, Oprah rich.
Okay.
And so, just working behind the scenes, just like anybody else, and trying to make ends meet and prices going up for things, I was trying to have a decent wedding.
Okay.
And in my sleep-deprived state, trying to write a special that eventually won an Emmy, by the way.
Awesome.
But I was sleep-deprived.
Right here in your bio.
So it must be true if it says it there.
Yes, it is.
And so I wrote this letter to the home show on ABC, and I knew they'd been on TV maybe 7 or 8 years at that time. And I thought, well, my letter is going to be the 1 millionth letter. They're going to read my tips that I was doing to save money on the wedding, and they're going to send me a washer and dryer. Confetti is going to fall from the ceiling, and this is great. Now, sleep deprived.
Okay.
This makes sense. Write a letter, get a washer and dryer.
That's right. Sounds good to me.
I mailed the letter off, and the more I thought about it, with oxygen coursing through my veins, and now the sunlight actually hitting my skin, I thought, well, that's not going to make any sense. Just go ahead, buy a washer and dryer on your own, and move on. So I really forgot about it. And in a couple weeks, one of their producers called me and said, Gwen, you've got everyone in our office in LA all abuzz about your wedding. We want to do a series around you as you plan your wedding. We want to fly you out to be on the show live once every 2 or 3 weeks and cover a different element of wedding planning. Now, I can hear my heart beating on the phone. And I think they can too. And I'm trying to act calm, like this happens all the time. Hollywood calls me all the time.
Yes.
Well, it ended up 6 appearances on the show. They flew me out to LA.
Okay.
They came to Cleveland to tape the wedding.
Wow.
So there were a few hundred people who crashed the wedding in addition to the 250 invited friends and relatives.
Oh, wow.
And we actually had, the long and short of it, we had a $25,000 wedding for under $4,500 and change.
Oh, no, that's skill.
Thank you very much.
Skill.
So the point of that, I took 3 years after that and interviewed brides and grooms and wedding businesses.
Okay.
And the book that I wrote was called How to Have the Wedding of Your Dreams on a Nightmare Budget.
Wow.
But the next point after that is, how do you have the life of your dreams on a nightmare budget? How do you actually afford the house if that's one of your financial goals? How do you pull your money together, set a budget, and actually live a decent life and not have to worry about who's calling you on the phone or what letter is coming in the mail?
Right.
And that's the point of financial education.
Okay, that's awesome. That's awesome. We're going to take a quick break and be right back.
Camp Tech allows you to create endless possibilities. We teach interactive technology through game, graphic, web designs, 3D animation, and filmmaking for youth, businesses, parents, seniors, toddlers, for all ages. For more information, please visit our website at camptechonline.com. Camp Tech, creating endless possibilities.
Go beyond. People of the world, it's a brand new day. Turn it up, let the music play. Let's go. Those stars too bright that you can't catch the light. This is your day to shine, your time to win. So raise your cup and drink it in. Why do the same when you can go?
But when you're gone from planning weddings, from $25,000 down to $4,500, and living the life of your dreams, because a lot of times we don't think that's what it is. We don't think, so we have to take the time to plan. And so, what do you actually teach? We're going to tie this into the Wealth School. So, what's the typical client or student, if you will, that's sitting in that class or listening to your presentation?
I have such a wide variety of clients that there's no one group. I have people that hire me to come one-on-one to coach them, either by themselves or with a spouse, a significant other, and kind of lay out all of their debt. Who do you owe? How much do you owe? How often do you pay them? What's the minimum amounts? And then we work out a debt elimination plan.
Okay.
And then you know the exact month, day, and year that you're going to be out of debt when you follow this plan.
Okay.
And because there's theory and then there's life,
Yes.
then how do you actually work around emergencies? If you live anywhere where there's potholes and you miss that first pothole and hit it with the front wheel, you're going to hit it with the back wheel. Now I need 2 tires.
Yeah.
So how do I handle emergencies and stay on this debt elimination plan?
Okay.
So we work with those kind of skills. And it's not hard. It just takes learning how to do small things differently and stop wasting money. There's a million ways that you're systematically losing your money.
Wow.
And when you add up what you've made over the course of a lifetime, from your first babysitting job at 12 to the time that you're 90 years old at Walmart, you've made more than $1 million.
Okay.
So we're already millionaires as we speak, but how much are we able to hold on to?
Wow.
And
That's
the point is, by each new pay, I'm out of money.
Okay.
Now, if I have $50, it's because I forgot somebody.
So then you have a late fee. So
Right.
now you're lost some more money.
Right. And if you didn't have enough money to begin with, how are you going to have enough money to cover the bounce check fees and all of those kind of things?
Exactly. And that's here comes the creepy monster, payday loans, cash advances. Speak to that.
Well, I don't want to speak negatively, but you probably shouldn't use those. Those are high interest loans. If you can, short of there being a national emergency or some really, and life happens. Like I said, there's life and there's theory.
Right.
So I understand that we get desperate, but if you can avoid using those kind of high interest loans and negotiate down some of your interest rates, even if you have bad credit,
Okay.
those are companies that really are trying to separate you from your money, and they're taking advantage of the fact that you don't have choices. And I understand that a lot of people are unbanked, don't have bank accounts because they're either intimidated or they're in check systems, meaning they've done something that the banks won't even take their cash anymore. And
Wow.
those are realities, but there
Yeah.
are ways to get out of that. And those are the kind of things that we cover.
Okay. All right. And do you do is it a typical classroom? How how often are there follow-ups? How do you measure success? Are you following people for a certain period of time, or do they check in? I don't know.
For those kind of things, we do have regular check-in periods. We give them
Okay.
homework and
Mhm.
assignments. The first time we meet is kind of feeling someone out and
Okay.
understanding their attitudes about money.
Mhm.
Some of us kind of blow through money. Some of us hoard money and never do anything, never spend it.
Right.
And if you're in a relationship with someone who's the opposite,
Mhm.
it might be helpful because they're you're the yin to their yang, or
yes.
that you complete each other. But if you both have extreme spending habits, either hoarding or spending,
Mhm.
then that's not helpful either, because you have to set some goals. You have to have an emergency plan. You have to be able to handle
Yes.
who's calling on the phone.
Absolutely.
And if you just pay your bills on time, that is a big part of increasing your credit score.
Yes. Yes. And there's a lot of places people can get their credit score, but then they don't get the details, and they don't also, always know. Oh, you get your free credit report, and basically you really don't get any information that's usable.
That's an interesting point. 74% of credit reports have incorrect information.
Okay.
Now that's a large number. Now it could be something minor, just like a name misspelled.
Yes.
If you've got a strange name and everyone spells it this way, but you spell it that way, okay, that's not going to prevent you from getting a job. But if it's something that, if the data entry person is typing in and they're mad at their spouse, or the dog pooped on the rug or whatever, and their mind isn't on it, it could be a typographical error putting someone else's information into your file.
Okay.
Now, it could say that you didn't pay on a house, that you foreclosed on a house or something. It could say that you didn't pay for a car, and it's not you.
Okay.
Maybe you never lived in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Right.
So those kind of things need to be corrected before they keep you from getting a job. See, there's 4 different people that pull your credit report now, and it used to be if I wanted a car or a house, my credit was pulled.
Yes.
Now it even affects whether I get a job or an apartment, or my car insurance rates are higher if I have bad credit.
Yes.
And I've had people ask me why. If they think if you're leading a dangerous lifestyle financially, you might be driving a little unsafe too, and they just as soon raise the rates just in case they're right on that.
And there's some people that may speak that have had that conversation previously. They may say that's just another way to get a little more money in their pockets as well. The insurance. It seems like I know it's just
It's all about the money.
Yes.
And
the lowest common denominator is going to pay.
yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
And it's not necessarily fair,
Uh-huh.
but any game in the world, you have to know the rules before you can play it. You can't even hope to win. And this is a money game, really.
Okay.
So you just need to learn the rules and start playing by the rules.
Okay.
Well, you don't have to like them. You just have to know that, if you do this, the X is going to come.
Right.
So,
right,
don't lose a leg. Plan ahead.
That's right. That's awesome. Okay, what else can you tell us from there, and what you're doing, and any type of success stories you want to share with us? Or?
I actually have a contract to work with a group of men on a regular basis, and they actually had not had checking accounts before.
Okay.
And so we did an activity where they write out a few checks. They have a few things to put in their check register.
Okay.
And then we actually balance the checkbook. Now, it takes more than a few minutes if you've never written out a check before, if you don't know what to put where in the register. And this one man said, I just give this to my wife to do. But then when he did it, and he said, she has to do all of this for every check she writes, and then she's got to balance this at the end of them. He said, I never knew she worked that hard. I would say, come on, woman, you're taking too doggone long. What's wrong? And he said, the next time I see her, I'm going to apologize.
That's awesome.
And so the next time I saw him, I said, did you apologize? He said, I sure did. I didn't know that all of that took, it took that much just to be aware of what your balance is,
Yes.
because you
The
can
old checkbook
bounce
and the
by just
head
a penny.
balance.
Mhm.
That's a no-no. Yes.
And if you bounce a check, even off by a penny,
Yes.
you've got maybe $30 or $40 in penalties that your bank is going to charge you, and then the knucklehead that you wrote the check to that's now mad at you
right.
is going to charge you another $30 or $40.
That's
So
right.
if I was off by a penny, where am I going to get the other $80?
Exactly. Exactly.
And that systematically keeps us from getting ahead. So it's a point of just learning a few different things to do about your money. I hold workshops here and there. I like to go into businesses because usually the employer can pay for it. It's the personnel development
Yes.
that they've already allotted for in a year's time. And it actually solves business problems, because if you're more efficient at the workplace, you're not stressed out, you're using less healthcare benefits because my blood pressure is lower,
Yes.
I'm not having a heart attack or a stroke, and those are the things that actually raise healthcare costs.
Yes.
So there's studies that there's a 3-to-1 return on that investment. Now, if I could find a slot machine that would triple my money, you wouldn't let anyone take you from a slot machine that triples your money. So this really is that kind of a proposition, holding on to more of your money.
Yes, and especially in this economy, the prices are going up, but our paychecks, our incomes are not going up. And so we do need to be smarter about our money, and people need to get in touch with you. What's your website? How can we get in touch with you, Ben?
My website is uswealthschool.com. uswealthschool.com. I prefer calls. I'm at 216-577-5621 because I'm a verbal person.
Okay.
So you use the tool that you know how to use best. And
Yes.
that's me.
That's great. And I'm sure people want to call, and that way they can ask you a couple of advanced questions before
Certainly.
coming to your workshop.
I even have tips on how to save on gasoline.
Oh. Is that a free tip?
I'll give you some free tips. I'll give you some free tips.
I didn't know if that was something you wanted to share, or if that's something that you give in one of your workshops.
Well, I
didn't want to be out of order
want to
here.
share the information so badly that it's just I'm happy to do it for free, because we're all in this stupid boat together, and I just feel like we're all sinking. For gasoline, number one, never let your gas tank go below a half a tank.
Okay.
Now, you can drive 4 or 5 days on a half a tank. The minute it's at a half, when you go home that next morning, you're almost, it just seems like it drank water. It drank it.
Yeah.
And it's because your gasoline, what does it do if it's exposed to the air?
It evaporates.
It evaporates. And if you have more air in your gas tank than gasoline, it's just going to evaporate and you don't use it. So never let your gas tank get below a half a tank.
Okay.
And the other free tip is, don't buy your gasoline from a pump that's been in the direct sun. I can't explain the physics of it, but if it's hot, you don't quite get as much as it's reading on it. So it's not like half or anything. If you put in 10 gallons, you're probably getting 9 1/2, 9 3/4 or something. But over the course of 365 days a year, I'm not walking anytime soon. Although I should, and that's a whole other show.
Exactly. We'll leave those to the fitness experts.
But that adds up in savings over time.
Yes. Okay. All right. Well, we're going to be right back. We'll take a break and come back with Gwen, and she's going to give us some more information about her finance career and anything else that we may decide that we can do to make a difference in our lives altogether. You kind of alluded to relationships a little bit, for our finances and as well. That's very important. We'll be right back.
know that your opinion matters? Did you know that your vote really counts? Well, it does, at least as soon as you apply this right. But what's a right anyway if you never use it? It's yours and nobody can take it from you, right? Wrong. By not having what you need in order to vote, you allow this right to be taken away, which is un-American, unjust, and unfair. Take a stand. Go to www.project5millionvoterid.com. Place your mark in it.
Gwen, what else can you share with our listeners? Or you have any workshops coming up soon? I know you said that you basically work with corporations, where that's the their favorite one, and I can understand is that as well. And you have your captive group, and it's a win-win. Let's just face it for the employer as well as the employee.
Any business, as long as there's maybe 10 employees or more that want to bring me in, or sometimes you can merge other small businesses together that are in an area and all come together for a lunch and learn or a retreat or something like that. I'd be happy to do. Depending on your budget, because there's handouts and things like that we want to make it so that you're retaining. It's one thing to hear it. It's another thing to write it. It's another thing to experience it. So we have activities that bring home things so that it's easier to adopt those habits.
Right. Okay, when you were talking about being in college and spending and getting credit cards and coming out of debt, it seemed like those things kind of built up and made you an expert. Yes, the school of hard knocks.
and you know what? Here's the quote that I read, and I use it all the time. If you think an education is expensive, try ignorance about your money.
That's awesome. Repeat that, Gwen.
If you think an education is expensive, try ignorance about your money.
Absolutely. We'll soon depart, right? Soon depart from us.
Absolutely.
Okay, are there any principles or things that you teach in the workshop, things that as life goes on, as you say, life happens to us, and when we get to that point, we can almost have like this little reminder, what we learned, from the U.S. Wealth School that we can take on through the rest of our lives.
One of the things should be always have an emergency fund. Something that is about 9 months to a year or more of your income, so that so many people are experiencing layoffs these days, or forced furlough days, which are not vacation days because you get paid for a vacation day. A furlough day means you're not coming into work and you're not getting paid for it either. So you need to handle those rough spots, and that's just a little insurance plan so that you can get over the rough patches. Another big thing is to just get out of debt. If you shop around, and I know I have friends who love to shop, and they're bargain shoppers, and they're always, look at what I got, it was so cheap. But if they put it on a credit card, you lost all those savings to the interest rates if you didn't pay it off in full.
And then what I say to that too is, just because it was on sale, was it something you were looking for, or did you just happen to, you're going to the store every week looking for a bargain, and then you have a house full of stuff that you don't even use?
And that's a whole section of discussion. I only talked about 2 money personalities, and there's really 6. So once you realize some of the techniques, some of the habits that you have that are helpful or not, we're not putting a value on them on good or bad. We're just saying, these help you hold on to more money, and these not so much. So maybe you need to do a little bit more of some of these things that you're doing, and you need to do a few less of some of these other habits. And when you realize that, then you can make some changes.
Okay, you're talking about getting out of debt. So we're going to plan our budget, and but for now, the person's overextended. They have a family. So we suggest, let's go out, and get a part-time job. And then, so they get the part-time job at the clothing store.
And buy more. You have an employee discount, so now you're buying more clothes that you really didn't plan on buying.
So that extra money is no longer extra money. But how can a person be committed with a part-time job to, paying off that debt, or the checks and balances, what can be put in place to kind of strengthen that, especially if they're not married, if they're not living at home with parents, that that may be a help, because they're on their own and they need something. It's almost like, what is it, financial anonymous? We need an FA here.
It's not easy, but you have to a budget, and we kind of tend to get away from the word budget these days, because the word budget is like diet,
Oh yes, definitely.
If it was easy, I'd already be thin too.
Yes.
So, well, you're okay. I need work, but a spending plan and sticking to it and reviewing it. And every once in a while, say you pay off one of your bills,
Yes.
then that a little bit, go and do something wonderful for yourself as a thank you, as a
celebration.
present, celebration. That then doesn't feel so bad because you have something good. Okay, now the next month I'm going right back at it and attacking this debt because it feels so good to know that you don't have that on you.
Yes.
And now, instead of paying in interest to credit card companies, now you can start to invest. Now you can start learning about what the stocks do, what bonds do, ETFs that everybody are talking about these days. Those are the kind of things, that's a whole nother education, and it doesn't have to be overwhelming. It just takes a little bit of knowledge. And there are videos out there, online, there's a lot of different websites like Investopedia, like Wikipedia, it's Investopedia, and other things like that, where they explain things so simply that you can begin to make your own plan for investing. And I have friends that enjoy buying stock. And we buy options and things, which is another little takeoff of that. It takes some skill, it takes some knowledge, but it's not impossible to learn. If anyone can learn English, and they say that's the hardest language there is, then we can learn the rest of it.
And you're going to be the one that teaches. They help us, get on that road. Awesome. But speak to our economy in finance. I think I hit a hot button here.
Our economy. That's just a big topic. And
yes.
I think the greater number of people worry more about their own personal economy. I when they say the stock market is up, or they say there are more jobs out there, that's fine, but if I didn't have a job this month, and so yes, in general, the bigger picture does affect us. As more and more people are going back to work, are able to spend money in their local stores, and then those store owners are able to buy from other people, then that's the rising tide that raises all boats. It is a good thing. But I'm trying to get my own boat. Right now I'm just treading water. I just need a rowboat. And that's what I want to help people do. Just get their own rowboat and bail till we can buy the yacht that we all deserve.
That's awesome.
Wow, that's brilliant, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
I don't know where that came from.
She's an expert. She really didn't know all, but she had up there in that mind of hers.
It comes out every once in a while.
Yes, absolutely. Well, Gwen, but thank you. Enjoyed our time with us today, and hopefully our viewers can take you some tips and give you a call, and to be able to plug into what you have to offer, so we can raise our yachts and get our boats back in the water instead of on the shore.
I just live to help other people.
Awesome.
So that maybe they can adopt me. See, if I make you rich, then you can adopt me. See, we all have our own goals in life.
That's a worthy one. Great. Thanks a lot, Gwen.
Thank you.
Yes, we'll see you soon. And in the meantime, you go out and make something happen positive in your world today.